Hey there, Cowboys Nation! Welcome to Dallas Cowboys Fan, your ultimate destination for all things America's team. Whether you bleed blue and silver or are just starting to catch Cowboys fever, this is the place. If you are a die-hard fan, please make sure to subscribe for more latest news and updates of your favorite team. All right, Cowboys Nation, buckle up because today's news is absolutely jaw-dropping. The NFL world has been flipped upside down with one of the most shocking trades in recent history. It's official. Dak Prescott, the face of the Dallas Cowboys for the better part of the last decade, has been traded to the Cleveland Browns. That's right. You heard me correctly. Dak is gone. But wait, it gets even crazier because rumors are swirling that Deion Sanders and his superstar son, Shedeur Sanders, could be making their way to Dallas. Let's break this all down because this is nothing short of monumental for the NFL and for Cowboys fans everywhere. Now, let's take a moment to absorb this. Dak Prescott, who has been the centerpiece of the Cowboys' offense since taking over as the starting quarterback in 2016, has been shipped off to Cleveland in a blockbuster trade that no one saw coming. Reports indicate that the Browns were desperate to make a splash after their disappointing season, and landing Dak might just be their golden ticket. Meanwhile, the Cowboys' front office, led by Jerry Jones, seems to be pulling out all the stops to completely reshape this team's identity. Let's talk about what the Browns are getting in Dak Prescott. Say what you will about his performance over the last few seasons, but Dak is still a top-tier quarterback in this league. He's a proven leader, a locker room presence, and a guy who's capable of putting up big numbers when he's on his game. For Cleveland, this could be the move that finally gives them stability at the quarterback position, something they've been chasing for decades. Pair Dak with that strong Browns defense and their formidable run game, and suddenly, Cleveland looks like a legitimate contender in the AFC. But let's not sugarcoat this. Dak's departure leaves a massive void in Dallas. And the question on everyone's mind is, what's next for America's team? Well, folks, this is where things get really interesting. With Dak out of the picture, the Cowboys are essentially hitting the reset button. And here's where the rumors about Deion Sanders and his son, Shedeur, come into play. As we all know, Deion Sanders is one of the most iconic figures in NFL history, a Hall of Famer who defined what it means to be a lockdown corner. But lately, Coach Prime has been making waves in the college football world, turning around the Colorado Buffaloes and turning his son, Shedeur, into a legitimate Heisman Trophy contender. Could Deion really bring his talents and his son to Dallas? Let's unpack this. First of all, let's address the Deion Sanders rumors. Jerry Jones has always been a big-picture kind of guy, someone who's not afraid to make bold, headline-grabbing moves. Bringing Deion back to Dallas, not as a player, but as a coach, or even in some sort of advisory role, would be peak Jerry Jones. Deion's charisma, leadership, and football IQ are off the charts, and there's no doubt that he could galvanize this Cowboys team in a way that few others could. Imagine the swagger that Deion would bring to Dallas. The Cowboys are already one of the most talked about teams in sports, but adding Deion to the mix would take things to another level entirely. Now, let's talk about Shedeur Sanders. This kid is the real deal. He's not just riding on his dad's coattails. Shedeur has proven himself to be one of the most exciting young quarterbacks in the country. His poise, his arm strength, his ability to make plays under pressure, it's all there. And let's not forget the marketability factor. The Cowboys are a global brand, and bringing in someone like Shedeur, who already has a massive following thanks to his dad and his own on-field exploits, would only enhance that. The idea of Shedeur Sanders as the future quarterback of the Dallas Cowboys is almost too perfect to ignore. Of course, there are a lot of moving pieces here. For one, Shedeur is still in college, and while he's eligible to enter the NFL draft, there's no guarantee he'll declare this year. Plus, The Cowboys would need to be in a position to draft him, which might mean making some additional moves to secure a high draft pick. But if there's one thing we've learned about Jerry Jones over the years, it's that he's willing to do whatever it takes to get what he wants. If Jerry decides that Shedeur is the guy, you can bet he'll move heaven and earth to make it happen. Let's not forget the immediate implications for the Cowboys roster. With Doc gone, the Cowboys are left with a glaring hole at quarterback. The backup situation in Dallas isn't exactly inspiring, so the team will likely need to bring in a veteran to bridge the gap until they can find their next franchise QB. Names like Jimmy Garoppolo, Ryan Tannehill, or even a reunion with someone like Cooper Rush could be in play here. But make no mistake, this trade signifies a new era for the Cowboys. It's a bold, risky move that could either set the team up for long-term success or plunge them into a period of mediocrity. Only time will tell which way it goes. As for Doc, this is a fresh start for him in Cleveland. Let's not underestimate what this could mean for his career. The Browns have a solid foundation in place, and while the AFC North is one of the toughest divisions in football, Doc has the talent and the leadership skills to thrive in that environment. It'll be fascinating to see how he meshes with the Browns' coaching staff and their offensive system. And you better believe that Doc will be circling the date on the calendar if the Browns and Cowboys meet in the near future. Talk about must-see TV. Now, let's circle back to the Cowboys, because this team's identity is about to undergo a seismic shift. For years, the narrative around Dallas has been that they're a team with all the talent in the world, but one that's perpetually held back by inconsistency at the quarterback position. By moving on from Doc, the Cowboys are essentially admitting that their previous approach wasn't working and that it's time to try something new. Whether that means building around a young quarterback like Shedeur Sanders or going all in on a different veteran remains to be seen. But one thing's for sure, the Cowboys are not content to stay the course. They're swinging for the fences, and you've got to respect that. Change is never easy, but sometimes it's necessary. And if you're a Cowboys fan, you have to trust that Jerry Jones and the front office have a plan in place to take this team to the next level. All right, Cowboys Nation, that's all we've got for you today. This is a monumental day in the history of the Dallas Cowboys, and the ripple effects of this trade are going to be felt for years to come. Make sure you hit that like button if you're as hyped about this news as we are, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel for all the latest updates on the Cowboys and the NFL. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you in the next video. Until then, go Cowboys!